Very excited to share with you some current releases for us. These wines are just going out, and we are incredibly excited to get them into people's hands. Three of the best wines I think that I've made in my tenure here. Really couldn't be much happier with the wines, and I really hope everybody enjoys them. We're going to talk about one white wine, and then we're going to talk about two reds. All three wines are quite different in style, quite unique, and showcase some different aspects of winemaking, grape growing, and just about anything else you can imagine. And our Vineyard comes from a grower up in Paso Robles area. His name is Sterling Diamond, and yes, that's his real name. Sterling does a fantastic job growing Vineyard for us. He only grows two varieties. He grows Sauvignon Blanc and he grows Vineyard, and he does both quite well. The Vineyard is very ripe in style, a lot of kind of honeysuckle, floral notes, dried grass, alfalfa, a lot of what I always call women's perfume. It's a very pretty wine, but it's got a lot of body, it's got a lot of weight, and it's got an intense amount of flavor. Yeah, just so much honeysuckle, dried grass, as I said. Oh, and the lady's perfume is just glorious, glorious on the nose. Very pretty. Heavy in the mouth. Long, long finish. I love the acid. The acid on the finish mixed with the weight in the mouth just makes for a very compelling wine. Really happy with it. Really happy with it. Still tasting it. Second, we'll talk a little bit about Zinfandel. And Zinfandel is a very prominent grape throughout California, really, especially so in the Paso Robles area. That's where ours is from. Grown on old head-trained vines. If you know anything about viticulture, when we say something's head-trained, what we mean is that it looks just kind of like a little tree, a little bush. Not all tied together in rows like you might be used to seeing or that you can see out in front of our tasting room. These are more like individual little bushes throughout the vineyard. Ideal for Zinfandel because Zinfandel has a relatively thin skin, and what you want to do is make sure that each cluster has its own space so that the berries aren't knocking into each other and causing any trouble because of that thin skin. And that head-trained system allows just that to happen. Each cluster is on its own, it's got its own space, and it's allowed to kind of ripen and do its own thing without having to worry about anybody getting in the way or crowding in. The grapes are harvested relatively ripe. This is a ripe style wine, but it is incredibly balanced, and that's really what we went for when we were putting this blend together, was an exceptional amount of balance, but big, bold, ripe Zinfandel flavors. You'll find a lot of strawberry, a little bit of cassis, some cinnamon, some tobacco notes in this wine, and then a big heavy middle, and again what I hope is a very balanced and unique finish. Yeah, like strawberry jam on the nose, which immediately tells me it's Zinfandel. Some coffee notes, kind of like cocoa. Some cinnamon, some really interesting barrel characters. This wine was made predominantly in American oak. Done so because Zinfandel is a pretty American wine. It's not found too many other places in the world, and it's very unique to the United States, and as such, we made it in barrels produced in the U.S. as well. Very pretty in the mouth, or very pretty in the nose, excuse me. Awesome. Huge structure, great tannins, but very approachable. This wine is absolutely at the top of its life right now. I'm very happy that it's releasing now. It's just showing incredibly well. Very long finish, just seamless integration of the wood. Very, very nice. I think summertime red wines you'll ever put in your mouth. It is just stellar for that. The blend is Syrah, Tempranillo, Grenache, Petit Syrah, and Mourvedre. 5 big, bold red wine grapes, mainly from up in Paso Robles, again, where it gets nice and hot. We can develop big, bold flavors for these kind of warmer climate wines. And like I said, great for the grill. Tons of jammy, kind of leather notes, a lot of cocoa, coffee, cigar box, just huge, big, bold red wine flavors. Massive black fruit nose, like a blackberry cobbler, or yeah, like your grandmother's cooking up fruit to make some sort of blackberry or blueberry jam. You know, just massive, massive fruit flavors in the nose. A little hint of vanilla too that I think is really intriguing. Really seems to tie things together. And gigantic in the mouth. Just a massive, massive wine. That's a crowd pleaser for sure. Really can't get over the amount of tannin, but how fine and well drinking they are. There's a lot in that wine, but it's very smooth on the palate, it's very drinkable, and it's very approachable right now, which I think makes it incredible for both the upcoming time of year and the foods that it will accompany. So that's the 3 wines. I've enjoyed doing the tasting, as I always do. I hope you all enjoy the wines very much. Always open to comments or suggestions. Love to know your thoughts on the wine. Please stay in touch. We're always here, and it was awesome speaking with you. Thanks.